The obstacle is the way. Part 1 Perception. Is it up to you? In life, our first job is this: to divide and distinguish things into two categories. Externals I cannot control, but the choices I make with regard to them I do control. Where will I find good and bad? In me, in my choices. EPICTETUS. Tommy John, one of baseball's most savvy and durable pitchers. Played 26 seasons in the majors. 26 seasons. His rookie year, Kennedy was president. His final year, it was George H. W. Bush. He pitched to Mickey Mantle and Mark McGwire. It's an almost superhuman accomplishment. But he was able to do it because he got really good at asking himself and others, in various forms, one question over and over again. Is there a chance? Do I have a shot? Is there something I can do? All he ever looked for was a yes, no matter how slight or tentative or provisional the chance. If there was a chance, he was ready to take it and make good use of it. Ready to give every ounce of effort and energy he had to make it happen. If effort would affect the outcome, he would die on the field before he let that chance go to waste. The first time came during the middle of the 1974 season when Tommy John blew out his arm, permanently damaging the ulnar collateral ligament in his pitching elbow. Up until this point in baseball and sports medicine, when a pitcher blew out his arm, that was it. They called it a dead arm injury. Game over. John wouldn't accept that. Was there anything that could give him a shot to get back on the mound? It turns out there was. The doctors suggested an experimental surgery in which they would try to replace the ligament in his pitching elbow with a tendon from his other arm. What are the chances of me coming back after this surgery? 1 in 100. And without it? No chance, they said. He could have retired. But there was a 1 in 100 chance. With rehab and training, the opportunity was partially in his control. He took it. And won 164 more games over the next 13 seasons. That procedure is now famously known as Tommy John surgery. Less than 10 years later, John mustered the same spirit and effort he marshaled for his elbow surgery when his young son fell horrifyingly from a third-story window, swallowed his tongue, and nearly died. Even in the chaos of the emergency room, with doctors convinced that the boy probably wouldn't survive, John reminded his family that whether it took 1 year or 10 years, they wouldn't give up until there was absolutely nothing left that they could do. His son made a full recovery. For John, his baseball career seemed to finally come to an end in 1988, when, at the age of 45, he was cut by the Yankees at the end of the season. Still, he would not accept it. He called the coach and demanded, if he showed up at spring training as a walk-on the next spring, would he get a fair look? They replied that he shouldn't be playing baseball at his age. He repeated the question, "Be straight with me, if I come down there, would I have a chance?" The baseball officials answered, "Fine, yes, you'll get one look." So Tommy John was the first to report to camp. He trained many hours a day, brought every lesson he'd learned playing the sport for a quarter century, and made the team, as the oldest player in the game. He started the season opener, and won, giving up a scant 2 runs over 7 innings on the road at Minnesota. The things that Tommy John could change, when he had a chance, got a full 100% of the effort he could muster. He used to tell coaches that he would die on the field before he quit. He understood that as a professional athlete his job was to parse the difference between the unlikely and the impossible. Seeing that minuscule distinction was what made him who he was. To harness the same power, recovering addicts learn the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is how they focus their efforts. It's a lot easier to fight addiction when you aren't also fighting the fact that you were born, that your parents were monsters, or that you lost everything. That stuff is done. Delivered. 0 in 100 chances that you can change it. So what if you focused on what you can change? That's where you can make a difference. Behind the Serenity Prayer is a 2,000-year-old Stoic phrase, ta ephemen, ta alkephemen. What is up to us, what is not up to us. And what is up to us? Our emotions, our judgments, our creativity, our attitude, our perspective, our desires, our decisions, our determination. This is our playing field, so to speak. Everything there is fair game. What is not up to us? Well, you know, everything else. The weather, the economy, circumstances, other people's emotions or judgments, trends, disasters, etc. If what's up to us is the playing field, then what is not up to us are the rules and conditions of the game. Factors that winning athletes make the best of and don't spend time arguing against, because there is no point. To argue, to complain, or worse, to just give up, these are choices. Choices that more often than not, do nothing to get us across the finish line. When it comes to perception, this is the crucial distinction to make, the difference between the things that are in our power and the things that aren't. That's the difference between the people who can accomplish great things, and the people who find it impossible to stay sober, to avoid not just drugs or alcohol but all addictions. In its own way, the most harmful dragon we chase is the one that makes us think we can change things that are simply not ours to change. That someone decided not to fund your company, this isn't up to you. But the decision to refine and improve your pitch? That is. That someone stole your idea or got to it first? No. To pivot, improve, it, or fight for what's yours. Yes. Focusing exclusively on what is in our power magnifies and enhances our power. But every ounce of energy directed at things we can't actually influence is wasted, self-indulgent and self-destructive. So much power, ours, and other people's, is frittered away in this manner. To see an obstacle as a challenge, to make the best of it anyway. That is also a choice that is up to us. Will I have a chance, coach? Tai Femin? Is this up to me?